Alright guys, so I think it's about time for another knife review. It's been about a month since our last knife review, and our last knife review was on the 550 Griptilian from Benchmade, and that is overall a great knife. I put it away for a while because, one, I wanted to keep it as in good condition as possible until I have more time to test it, and another one is because I'm testing other blades, and I just don't have time to test, 3 blades at once. So I put that one away just for a little while until I finish testing this blade and another blade, which I will review in a future video. So this one is on the RJ1 from Kershaw. It's a great blade overall, great EDC blade. It can be used for either self-defense or utility reasons, and I use it for both, whether I'm grabbing it just because I'm running out of the house, or if I just feel like carrying one blade on me instead of having the extra weight, I just carry this one. Alright, so before I get on with the review, I'm going to go ahead and say one complaint that I have about this blade, just to get it out of the way. So, my one complaint is it has no jimping on the blade. And you all know that I'm a really big fan of jimping, because, it adds to the grip of the knife, it adds on to how much you can hold it, how well you can hold it. So, that's the only complaint I have about this, is no jimping. No jimping right here on the top of the blade, but it does have jimping on the locking mechanism. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. First of all, I'm going to start off with price. Now, if you live in Canada, it's a little bit pricey. It's $57.44, but Kershaw does have really great prices. Like they have really cheap prices for great quality knives. So in Canada, it is $57.44. And in America, it is $50. So if you live in America, you basically have a bonus. You're saving $7. But if you live in Canada, $7 more. But yeah, those are the prices for the RJ1. All right, moving on. This blade does come in 2 different configurations. It comes in a combination blade, and the serrations on the RJ1 that's serrated is a 2-step serration, and reading straight from the Kershaw website, serrations assist in cutting through particularly tough or fibrous material, such as rope or cord. The Kershaw 2-step serration is a more aggressive style of serration, and serrations, all they do is assist in cutting paracord or any kind of cord that you may be using for camping or setting traps and whatnot. So basically that's what serrations will get done. Now my favorite serrations have to come from Benchmade. Benchmade has some really, really great serrations. They're smooth and they cut through cord really, really smoothly. Now the Kershaw Blur serration is pretty close to the Benchmade's serrations. Like on the 550 Griptilian, great serrations. They're the serrations on both the Blur and the Griptilian, if I remember correctly, are pretty similar. Alright, moving on. Now this is an assisted opening blade, meaning it comes out quicker than a manually deployed blade. Now this one is a flipper design. You can either use the thumb stud, which does come out a little bit slower depending on how you open it, or you can use the flipper design, which will assist in a self-defense roll if you're trying to deploy it quick. Oops, that sucked. Sorry about that. There you go. So if you're using this as a self-defense tool, the flipper part of this blade would be a great tool to use in a self-defense roll. Alright, now reading again from the Kershaw website, flipper may be used on either manual or assisted opening knives. The flipper is a protrusion on the back of the blade that the user can pull back on or flip in order to move the blade easily out of the handle. See, I love how Kershaw, explains things, clearly on their website, and it's categorized on the website, so you know exactly what you're reading. All right, moving. This is the Kershaw Speed Safe. It is a Speed Safe, marked by Kershaw, and reading again from their website, SpeedSafe assists you to open any SpeedSafe knife quickly and easily with a manual push on the thumb stud or pull back on the flipper, built into many Kershaw bestsellers. And as you guys know, all of Kershaw's assisted opening blades are SpeedSafe, so you know, they're just, you know, they're all overall they're fast and great, you know, flipper designs, assisted opening knives. So I do highly recommend Kershaw, and I highly recommend the Kershaw Blur and the Kershaw RJ1. Now, when I get to the Kershaw Blur review, there are a few complaints I have with that knife, but I will not say those here. I'll say them in the Kershaw Blur review. But it is coming in a couple weeks, either mid-October or at the end of October, so stay tuned for that. Alright, a couple more things on this. The pocket clip is reversible to tip up or tip down carry, but it is not ambidextrous. It is not a left-hand style blade. It's only meant for righties. Well, I shouldn't say only, but it is built as a right-hand carry blade, but lefties can carry it if they want to. But I do highly recommend this blade for, you know, anybody. Alright, moving on, this is a liner-locked knife, as you can see from there. A liner lock knife, basically meaning the handle's on the outside, and you have a piece of metal on the inside, which basically is, holds the knife in place so it does not close on you. Alright, next, the blade length is 3.5 inches, so it is barely legal to carry in the state of Kentucky, because here, what I've heard from a few law enforcement officers is if the blade is longer than the width of your hand, well, ridiculously larger than the width of your hand, you shouldn't be carrying it. This is, as you can see, is about 1/2 centimeter bigger than the width of my hand, so it is legal to carry. I have been questioned by only one law enforcement officer about this blade when they asked me what I was carrying. They just told me just to be careful and to not go over the length of this blade. Alright, the closed length of this knife, basically the handle, is 4 5/8 inches, 14.3 centimeters. So, oops. It is a pretty decent sized blade. I mean, it fits in my hand really well. I do have sort of small to medium hands. I mean, I don't have large hands, but I have small to medium sized hands, and it fits very, very well. Nothing really hangs over the edge. I mean, there's just a little bit hanging over of the knife, not my hand. There's a little bit of the knife hanging over, so it does give me a little extra, you know, grabbing room. And adding those two together, the overall length is 8 1/8 inches, 20.6 centimeters. So it is a pretty large blade overall. So yep. So that's the overall length. The weight on this blade. Now, nothing fancy. I don't know if you ever even watch any of these videos. I don't know if you consider this knife, but this knife weighs 4.5 ounces. I mean, I forget I have it, and this is like one of the lightest blades I have, other than the 550 Griptilian. But if I just feel like grabbing one knife instead of two, just to cut down on weight, I usually head for this one because it is pretty light and it's slim. It's a great overall EDC carry blade. It also has multiple uses, you know, for self-defense and for utility reasons. Alright, and the last thing I have to say, actually 2 more things I have to say. The handles are G10 scales, so it does provide a lot of grip, even if the scales are sanded down a little bit, because these have seen some use. They still have a tremendous amount of grip. Other than the jimping, you know, it stays in your hand very well. You can choke up a little bit, unless you want to get your finger all the way up on the blade for finer cuts. But yeah, you can, got a lot of grip, and you can choke up a lot on the blade. And the last thing is the steel. I forgot to mention this earlier. The steel is 8CR13 MOV, and this is the first time I've been introduced to this steel. I've always had, you know, 440C stainless steel blades. Just, you know, I've never had this kind of steel. So far so good, because I haven't had to sharpen it yet. It's kept a great edge. Michael sharpened it for me before we traded, but it's kept a very, very good edge. I've used it a lot. I mean, I've said this is my EDC carry, so it's just overall great. You know, great steel, keeps a really, really good edge. So I highly recommend this. I've said this a few times in this video, but I do highly recommend this blade. Alright guys, so if you have any questions or comments, please email me, please email Michael or I at sneprojectllc@gmail.com. We'll also have our website up in a couple weeks, so be looking for that. You know, we're going to have blogs, videos you can't see here on YouTube, and maybe a few contests if we you know, get the time and get the materials we want to give away. Alright guys, thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for more reviews, more gear reviews, more adventures, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care. Stay safe.